Hello. First of all, I'm super excited about this video, and I decided that not that I was really scripting them before, but I was trying to be really good and figure out what I was going to say beforehand and have it memorized the way I do for films. Not necessary here, and I think it's more fun when it's just more me being me on here. I have a movie that I want to tell you about today, and I want to do it before I forget any of the things that I wanted to say because I watched it recently. Many people have written to me and been like, "Well, I like your office, and where are you filming, and where's the office?" Now it looks like I'm in the middle of a forest because I am. But it's a very cozy place, hopefully, to discuss films with you. Also, somebody asked me, is there any pattern to when my hair's down and nice, or when I do the cinnamon bun geisha with my bangs? There is not. This is just the way we're rolling today. The movie that I want to tell you about, and I know that we're a little late with this one because it's now November. If any of you have ever seen the movie Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, please raise your hands out there because I have so much that I want to say about this, both for audiences and filmmakers and potential filmmakers. Where am I even going to start? First of all, please give films a chance that you've heard, I don't even want to say negative things about, but that, for example, people said for years that this movie didn't do well because it was called Halloween 3 and it's not a Michael Myers movie. There's probably a lot of credence to that statement. So Halloween came out in 78, Halloween 2 came out in 81, and Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, came out in 83. And I won't go into the whole history of the thing here. Originally, John Carpenter wanted to have an anthology that wasn't going to be all Michael Myers. It was going to be Halloween motifs. And that just didn't pick up. The producers just didn't want that. They wanted more Michael Myers. So, as he's my favorite, I do understand it. But Tommy Wallace made this movie. There's Tom Atkins, the great Tom Atkins, is in it, who we all know and love from so many thrillers. And, I think I was late to the party with this one as well because I was resistant. And everyone just kept saying, oh, it doesn't fit into the chronology of the movies. And that's 100% correct. I think if this movie would not have been called Halloween 3 and they just would have called it Season of the Witch or something far better, it would have done very well. I think it did decently and it's picked up a cult following, but this is an example of a movie that it's just an underrated classic. And I think had it not been associated with the Michael Myers films and not been named that, you wouldn't need a video of me to be telling you to go watch it. So what I wanted to say was I saw this, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I remember being almost scarred by it. It's really scary. And by scary, I mean creepy in a really strange way that sat with me. It's one of those movies you need a shower afterward to get rid of it. And I mean that in the best possible way. It's just so effective. I can't even think right now of a number of movies that are this effective in that way. It's an incredibly simple plot. Tom Atkins is a doctor, and when the movie begins, there's this man running from these businessmen, and they're chasing him, and they chase him down to the hospital where Tom Atkins works, and this poor man thinks that he's safe, and one of these businessmen get in there, and they kill him, but it's a very strange sequence. And the man's daughter teams up with Tom Atkins to figure out what the hell's going on and why somebody would do this to her father. And in the meantime, you just learn that the guy who did this, there's just something not right about him. He pinches the guy's nose and moves it around and pulls his skull apart. You don't really see it. And when he's done killing this man, he sets himself on fire in a car. And Tom Atkins watches this. And it's just the most unsettling sequence. And the way it's shot, please, all my burgeoning filmmakers out there, please watch this. It's such a perfect example of pacing and timing. And there's a little bit of a Michael Myers aspect to it because you see this guy walk slightly off the frame when you're busy looking this way, and it's just a very evocative and unsettling way to film, and it was great. So the whole movie is basically this guy's daughter and this doctor trying to figure out what's the connection between the mask that he had in his hand that he wouldn't let go of and why these businessmen who will self-immolate, who are they? And it all comes down to the Silver Shamrock factory that makes these big three, they're called masks. It's a witch, a skull, and a pumpkin. And there's this really unsettling television commercial that kids are obsessed with, and it's like, 2 more days of Halloween, 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 2 more days of Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Like, it's embarrassing that I just did that on this video, but that's how it sounds. And when it's over and over and over in the movie, it's really disturbing. In fact, I should charge money for how good I can do that impression. I should do it at Halloween parties. So it's not giving anything away to say that everything has to do with that commercial and this mask. Why do I love this movie so much? I watched it again on Tubi. Again, I should be getting collaboration money through Tubi because I'm promoting the hell out of this channel for no reason other than it's great. It's completely free on your smart TVs. Please access it. There's so many classics on there right now. And I rewatched it. One of the things I want to say about this movie is that even though it's from 82, 83, and movies from that time period, unless it's E.T. and things of that caliber, they tend to be very dated. I'm watching this thing ready to feel that way, and I just couldn't. Like the title sequence, which is very computerized, and it goes into this computerized pumpkin, which I think was a take on the Michael Myers movies where there's a pumpkin at the beginning of each one. But this is on a computer, and it's very 80s tech. And I was looking at the green or the blue font of the title sequence. It looks like it could be made now. In fact, David Gordon Green, in his like one homage to Halloween 3 for Halloween Ends, and if you're not a Halloween geek, I know I just blew your mind with too much information, but he uses the font from Season of the Witch for Halloween Ends, just as like that one tie-in that the fans wanted. But please, let's not start talking about Halloween Ends. We'll be here all day. The title sequence was so not dated that I sat there going, I've got to watch this damn movie again because this is really good. So the other thing I want to talk about is the characterization because Tom Atkins is married in the movie to this woman that's not that nice, and he's got 2 kids, and they have their Silver Shamrock masks. But as soon as he meets the daughter of the dead guy, they're flat out having an affair. Like, boom. Like, no explanation. No, oh, I'm married, I shouldn't. No anything. Like, they're just all of a sudden in this motel room carrying on with each other. And I remember as a kid being like, oh, okay, that's cool. But now as an adult, I'm watching it like, damn, no kind of exposition. Like, not even like talk of the wife. Not even I'm unhappy. Not even I'm into you. Like, just like she was a non-issue. It was a non-starter. And they are kind of a cute pair, these two. It's like a Nancy Drew Hardy Boy situation. But the environment is so bizarre because they go to where the factory is, Silver Shamrock. And again, if there's anybody Irish out there, I am, as you can tell by the freckles and the red hair. That was a surprise I didn't see coming. That the town, the company town that makes the masks is run by this Conal Cochran, this Irish billionaire, genius. But there's like cameras everywhere and it's very creepy and it's very Big Brother and everyone's watching everything. The whole movie is Irish. Like there's one detail about something at the beginning where somebody stole a piece of Stonehenge and they don't get into it and you have to put all these things together and it was brilliant. I loved it. The thing about it though is I don't know if I should have watched it at night. And I know everybody out there is going to be like, oh my God, that's not that scary. It actually is. Again, it always depends on what personally scares you, but looking back, some of you know I'm trying to make this movie in Montana where I can't give anything about that away either because I signed an NDA, but a town appears to be abandoned. And I think that movies from my childhood and adolescence, like they stay in my subconscious. I'm sure they stay in yours as well. And I really do believe upon second watch that Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, stayed in my mind in some way. Because the whole concept of the cameras, I'm watching it the other night going, oh my God, this is in my movie, granted in a different kind of way, but it's in mine. And, oh, it's a leaf. I thought a bird was about to come hit us. Just the details and like the businessmen who do all the killing and like they're all thin and they're all in these like very early 80s, like, you know, double-breasted outfits. And they just show up. Oh, that's another thing. John Carpenter. There's just so much that's confusing about this. John Carpenter didn't direct this movie, but his friend did. It's not part of the Michael Myers anthology, but John Carpenter did the music. It's a bit of a shit show if you're trying to make these connections. He did the music though, and for real, it's creepy. Like, anytime one of the businessmen killers like enter the frame, like you will jump. I don't care if you don't get into jump scares, you're gonna jump. And obviously it's about them investigating what's going on at the factory, what's going on with these masks, and how are they going to save the day. The whole situation with the masks, it's gross. Like, if you have watched my video from a couple weeks ago on The Thing, and when I talk about that being gross and the makeup for that, this is gross. Like, this is just as gross. And there is definitely, for those of you who are not filmmakers or writers and truly believe that children are not to be touched or harmed or killed in a movie, some of us are not for you, because we tend to do that quite a bit. If you are sensitive to that, Season of the Witch is not for you. And when you find out what the grand mastermind's plan is, it is not kid friendly at all whatsoever. It's Irish. It's not kid friendly. It's creepy as hell, and ingenious in a weird way. So if you also have an interest in what the original Halloween concept, I'm going to say this incorrectly, Samhain, Samhain, again, I'm Irish, I should know how to say this, but that's a big part of the movie. It's just, for people that haven't seen it before, please watch it. It will not disappoint you. And I found myself sitting there, and I do this with movies a lot, saying, okay, this movie's great, but how would being in 2023, if they were remaking it, how would it affect it? And the number one thing I came up with was cell phones. Cell phones, like, ruin everything. They either make them totally better or they ruin everything. There's a whole sequence where Tom Atkins has to reach people and tell them something to do so that all hell doesn't break loose. And if the dude just would have had a cell phone, this all would have been over. Like, done. But it's so interesting to look back to 1982, 83 when we didn't have these. And there was this weird sense of panic and urgency when you had to get a mass amount of people to, understand something. And I believe he uses a bomb scare at one point to get people to listen to him. And I think that's probably still valid, but we don't have the same issues as then. I hate cell phones for all kinds of reasons, but they can help in a situation like this. So I was amazed. I was amazed at how non-dated it is. I'm amazed at the bad rap it's gotten just because it's not a Michael Myers movie. Well, it wasn't intended to be. Like Carpenter said from the beginning, it was going to be an anthology series, and then people they wouldn't give up the Michael character, and that's why they went back to it in Halloween 4. But on its own, this movie has a lot of merit. The acting's really great. The villain is very creepy. The set design is very cool. And also for burgeoning filmmakers, don't let people tell you that your limitations of sets is going to make your movie not so good or make people think it looks budget. Halloween 3 had a very good budget, and they really only used the factory, the motel, and the hospital. Those are the real main things. Other things, a house or something's there for 2 seconds, but they really only have these sets. And it's an incredibly effective movie, so don't let anybody tell you that viewers will not invest if you don't have a ton of, sets and locations. So I think it deserves a rewatch by everybody, and it's on Tubi right now, so please check it out. Also, was I going to say, cell phones would completely change the trajectory of the movie. So when you're watching it or watching any movie, please think of me and think of that question of how would modern technology and modern life affect the plot of this movie, for the better or for the worse? Is it better in the way that it was, or would you have liked it more in modern day when they had our technology? Like I said, the acting is great. It's incredibly creepy. And even though I'm filming this on November 18th, we're mid to late November now, it's still a perfect time. There's like no leaves on the trees. It's creepy. It's gloomy. There's no not good time to watch a Halloween movie, especially, in the fall. But I would say, I hate saying the title, Season of the Witch. It makes sense when you get to the end of the movie, but we could have come up with something so much better. And for me, I drive around all day and I see like suburban developments that are called like Jennifer's Lane. No, get rid of that. Like these people should be hiring me to rename the streets, and I could come up with some bomb things, but you have to have the money to buy the development, I guess, to name them. So that's not going to be happening anytime soon for me. So I'm just going to be, you know, taking my movies and naming them and creating them. But I would rename Season of the Witch because I don't think it does it justice. And having Halloween 3 in the title definitely was not good for the financial ability of the movie in 1983. So please give it a rewatch. You have no excuse not to. It's on Tubi. I would love to talk about it with people. Feel free to leave me comments. And it was just, again, this is an off-the-cuff video because I just watched it and I couldn't believe how much I liked it. And the way the movie ends, oh my God, I was having a panic attack. Like, it's anxiety-inducing. It's almost like a 70s paranoia thriller. If you've ever seen 3 Days of the Condor with Robert Redford or Parallax View with Warren Beatty, those movies kill me. Like, they got me every time. And this definitely had that kind of feel when you get to the end. Nobody's safe. Like, you have this constant anxiety about what's going to happen to each character. I'm not saying everybody dies or anything like that, but you feel like these businessmen killers could get to anybody. You're constantly worried for Tom Atkins in the movie. You're worried for his girlfriend, mistress, because they're having a full-on affair. It's never even like mentioned. Nobody feels bad about it. And I don't know, some of the set pieces with the masks, if you don't know, a set piece is where an entire scene is sort of a big deal and very designed to bring about a very specific response within the film. There's a set piece using the masks and a family that it got me. I can't even think about it now. It's scary. So please give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch a try, a rewatch. Now that you heard me talk about it, I really do think this movie got a bum deal because of the title and because of what was going on at the time and because people wanted more Michael Myers. The minute you have a franchise character like that, you've got to break your script away from the whole concept because people just, they don't know what to do. They want more of that, and then they don't know that they want what they really should want because it's a great script. So I'm fully behind this one. I think it's a great movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's great to see Tom Atkins so young. And it's a surprisingly modern movie in a lot of ways because of the technology we have now. If there was a villain like this villain and he decided to do something like this, I don't think it would be that hard. So Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, definitely a thumbs up from me. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I know it's just pretty off the cuff and just fun in my office space, and I don't do anything particularly cool or techie with this. I'm very lucky to have a friend of mine who even does the thumbnails for me. So if you are interested in longer videos or videos where I can get into things that I can't get into on YouTube because they will absolutely kibosh it, please consider my Patreon channel. It's Patreon, that's patreon.com/talented Ms. Ripley, and it will be in the description box as well. We do all kinds of fun things on there, and you can have access to my writing before everybody else does or before it gets published, and there's behind the scenes of my films and anything I'm doing regarding the films, as well as longer videos, more deep dives, and topics that we can't talk about just on YouTube. So please consider signing up for that as a subscriber, and please like and subscribe this video. It helps me so much to know what you're interested in and what I should do next and to get more of a community on here. So thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a great weekend, and please watch this movie. I'd love to give it some more love. I feel bad when these films don't do well, not because of their own merit, of which there is a great deal, but because of just a stupid marketing situation. So have a great weekend, guys, and again, thanks for watching me. We're just a little channel, but I'm really happy to have you here, and I will see you again soon.